Hello, 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 everyone. This is your girl Shanidra with Beyond the Cover. Yes, where you will discover exactly what it is and what it's going to be. Now, as you can see on me, I have my Amore 2 Class C um, blazer dress to impress. So one side is the blazer and the other side is the dress. And it is attached, sorry guys, to match. So there you go for sure. Now, um, as you can see behind me, we have our more too classy swim dress to impress. We also have the swim cap to match. So that's one of our African, the new ones that I showed you guys yesterday. That's one of our African swim caps that we have available. And I thought that that one went perfect with the red swim dress. Now we also have this one as well. No, this is the polka dot. Maybe I could see that. We have the polka dot with the bow in the front. For you guys as well, that will go beautiful with the red as well. As well as, the DG glasses that last, These are only $15, as you can see on me. Now, with the Amore 2 Classy Boutique, we also have our goals journals. Goals, because we have to write down our goals. Even with how busy life is, we still have to write down our goals. And this goals journal actually helps you stay intact. I mean, it gives you tips. It helps you keep up with, your values and measure your success in life and all types of, it has something to continuously help you grow, as you know. On all my networking events, I always give you journals, but this month's event that will be at the end of this month will be you will be receiving these journals right here. Now, as you know, we have our new and improved catalog. Now, this catalog has all of our jumpsuits. It also has our swimsuit. The swimsuit you see right now is right here. So that's how it will look on you. And this one is the red dress classy swimsuit. That is only $25. So, as you know, we are about to start the show, so you can know what the title of today is. Because everything costs, sweetheart. Everything costs, but it's deeper than that. You already know it's about to go down. So before we get into the show, as you know, June the 6th, which is next Monday, our classes will start. Our summer camp will start. Regions Bank will be here next week as well for the children that would like to, if you just want your child to join that class, they are able to join that class as well. So that they can learn about money, savings. There's so many things that I'm learning. I'm going to be listening and taking notes in the class as well. So that's all I have to show. Let me go ahead and go straight to the flyer so that you will know. You can also sign your children up on our website at beyondthecover.org.
Honey, see me. Behind my game boy, I got game, girl, it comes easy.
it is about to go down. As you know, on this show, we go beyond the cover to help you discover exactly what it is and what it's going to be. Now, today, when I say everything, I mean everything has a cost. There's a cost to be the boss. There's a cost, as you know, I'm looking at my journal. My journal is right here. Unfortunately, we don't have any more. No, we do have one more. I think one more. We have one more of these, as you can see. But everything costs. There's a cost to be the boss. There's a cost to bear the cross. And there's a cost when you disobey and prey on God's children. Now, as I break it down, I was going to show you guys a video, but God was like, no. And helping them is for them to know what my commandments are and to know if they obey what they will receive and when they disobey, so that they won't be confused. Because as we know, there's no excuse. We will go up there with no excuse because he has laid the law down. He's given us the basic instructions before leaving the earth, which is the Bible. So he told me I must go by his word. So today we will be in Leviticus. We're going to start at the 26th chapter. Leviticus chapter 26. And we're going to start at verse 1. We're going to go all the way. I don't know until he stops me. So Leviticus, the 26th chapter, starting at verse 1. I'm in the NIV version of the Bible. That's what I'm reading from. So it says, reward for obedience, when you're obedient to this word. So that's why I'm giving you the word to help you out so you can be obedient. Now, when you're obedient, he tells you, do not make idols or set up an image or a sacred stone for yourselves. And do not place a carved stone in your land to bow down before it. I am the Lord, your God, period. He's the only Lord. There's nothing that you need to carve out, make out, nothing. He is the Almighty. There's no other to discover besides him, period. He said, observe my Sabbaths and have reverence for my sanctuary. I am the Lord. After everything, he keeps saying, I am the Lord. Like, what do you need all this stuff for? Because I am the Lord. I'm the one whom created you, sweetheart. He said, if you follow my decrees and are careful to obey my commands, I will send you rain in its season and yield its crops and the trees their fruit. Your threshing will continue until grape harvest, and the grape harvest will continue until planting. And you will eat all the food you want, all of it. You don't have to worry about food, sweetheart. When you are a part of God, you don't have to worry about it. When you are obedient, don't matter what's going on. During the pandemic is when I saw the miracles of God, period. It wasn't See Portraits Magazine, LLC. It wasn't Beyond the Cover, where you discover. It wasn't none of the Beyond the Cover. It was none of that. It was nothing but God. Again, God is your source. Now, if you're lacking, that's because of you and your disobedience. That's what we're going to talk about on today. We're going to get into his word and explain to you guys why, some people will say, oh, it's not the devil, and quit blaming the devil and all that. The devil can only do what God allows him to do. Even when God told him to, look at his son Job, the devil still couldn't do what he wanted to do with Job, period. But everything comes with a cost. Period. You want to disobey, it's going to cost you to be disobedient. You're not going to have the best of the best. You're going to be stressed in some mess. It's going to cost you your peace and everything else. Now, we know how the signal always goes when I am talking about God's word and trying to help y'all become obedient. Now, if y'all can still hear me, like I said, I'm not worried about how I look, sweetheart, because we're going beyond the cover so you can discover. Let me see what it's going to be. Okay, so you can still hear me. So I'm not worried about the signal distorting my face or whatever, what have you. I'm so over that. God will bless that. So, as you know, um, he said you will eat whatever you um, want. Oh, you will eat all the food you want and live in safety in your land. You don't have to watch your back because you done stole from somebody or all of that stuff. See, everything comes with a cost. When you steal, you can't be the boss. When you steal ideas, when you steal, period, there's a cost for that. When you're disobedient, but we won't get into that because, as he said, this is when you are obedient, then all these things are added to you. You won't starve. You won't be hungry. You will have all the food you want, all of it. Not some of it. Don't matter what's with the pandemic. Ain't gonna matter nothing. You still gonna have all of it. So he said, I will grant you peace in the land. See, I told you guys, you will have peace. See, when you are disobedient, you out here sinning and doing all this dirt, you don't have any peace. Because you always worried about what somebody else is doing and or if you're going to get caught or whatever. See, when you're being obedient, you don't have to worry about all this stuff because you know God is going to handle your enemies. You know that God is going to handle the rest and you'll be blessed and not stressed. So, you're not worried about anything because you are obedient. You know what God told you to do. You're not praying PREY on people. You are praying for people. So there's a difference. Everything comes with a cost. Now, like he said, I will grant you peace in the land, and you will lie down, and no one will make you afraid. No one. That's why I say I'm not scared of nobody. Period. Because anybody that try to come for me or any of his children is really dealing with him. Period. That's just like us. Somebody come mess with our children, and they got to deal with us. Same thing with God. You're not really dealing with my child. You're dealing with me, sweetheart. And that's what God is saying. So he said, you will live in the land. You will lie down and no one will make you afraid. I will remove wild beasts from the land and the sword will not pass through your country. You will pursue your enemies. See, we will pursue our enemies. And they will fall by the sword before you. Period. Just like David and Goliath. Period. It's nothing. 5 of you will chase 100, and 100 of you will chase 10,000. And your enemies will fall by the sword before you. Period. They're going to automatically fall down. The hole that they are digging for you, the deeper they digging is the deeper they're going to be. That's the deeper mess that they are going to be. Everything comes with the cost. He said, I will look on you with favor, just like he did Abel. When we give God our best, we will be blessed without any mess because we're not stressed. I will look on you with favor and make you fruitful and increase your numbers. And I will keep my covenant with you. You will still be eating last year's harvest when you will have to move it out to make room for the new. That's how much plenty you will have. You will have that much. I will put my dwelling place among you, and I will not abhor you. I will walk among you and be your God, and you will be my people. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, so that you would no longer be slaves in the Egyptians, to the Egyptians. I broke the bars of your yoke and enabled you to walk with the heads held high, with your heads held high. Period. What you got your head down for, sweetheart? When you are a child of God, I know it is hard because we are a part of the Most High. But now to the good part, sweetheart. we must know what the punishment from God is. The punishment. He said punishment for disobedience. Straight from his word. We're still on Leviticus, the 26th chapter. Now we're at verse 14. Punishment for disobedience. I'm reading in the NIV version. I'm reading the NIV version. So you know what's the show and how it's going to go. Now, punishment for disobedience. Again, I want to make sure that we know that we're transforming from the obedience to disobedience. Now, this is what's going to happen. This is the punishment that's going to happen to those who are disobedient. Because remember, anything that we do, he said it would not go unpunished. Anything that we do wrong, it's not going to go unpunished. Everything comes with a cost. Now, it depends on what kind of cost you're trying to. But anyway, he said, but if you would not listen to me, which is God, if you do not listen to God and carry out all, not some of them, not part of them, not a little bit of them, but all of these commands. And if you reject my decrees and my laws and fail to carry out all, again, all of them, not some of them, not part of them, not a little bit of them, but all of them, all my commands, and so violate my covenant, then I will do this to you. Now, if you violate all this and you do not do what I say, the Lord, then I will do this to you. He said, I will bring on you sudden terror. Immediately. Suddenly. If you decide not to do my commandments and violate what I told you to do, I am going to suddenly bring you, he said, I will bring on you sudden terror, wasting diseases. They're saying they don't know what's out here now, or the cure for whatever this is out here now. Wasting diseases and fever that will destroy your sight and sap your strength. You will plant seeds in vain and go insane because your enemies will eat it. Period. So you're going to plant seeds in vain because your enemy's going to eat it up. He's going to allow them to. So you can't get mad at nobody but you, because only you can change the outcome when you change. So he said, you will plant seeds in vain because your enemies will eat it. I will set my face against you. Who wants God to set his face against them? That is crazy. That is insane. And if you're not scared of that, I don't know what else to tell you. It should be stopped right here. God will set his face against you. Do you hear me? Who wants that? I don't want that. I'm not about that life, honey. I don't want to pay that type of cost, sweetheart. God will set his face against you. We are in Leviticus, the 26th chapter. Verse 17, he said, I will set my face against you so that you will be defeated by your enemies. You're going to be defeated by your enemies. See, when you are obedient, he will defeat your enemies. But when you are disobedient, you are going to be defeated by your enemies. Kind of stuff. Like, who wants to pay this type of cost? What kind of cost are you willing to? Woo! This is crazy. So he said, I will set my face against you so that you will be defeated by your enemies. Those who hate you will rule over you. What kind of stuff? You want to pay that cost? You rather be disobedient and be defeated by your enemies. Those who hate you will rule over. You want those who hate you to rule over you? Do you see what's going on in today's world? Because we're so disobedient. We need to be obedient so we can rule over this stuff. But anyway, he said, they will rule over you and you will flee even when no one is pursuing you. Verse 18. If after all this, you would not listen to me, after all this punishment, you still don't want to listen, to God and do any of his commandments, you want to do things your way and not Yahweh. Okay, so go ahead and hit the highway. He said, if after all of this, you will not listen to me, I will punish you for your sins 7 times over. Dang, what kind of message? Who wants to pay this type of cost? He is going to listen to this. If after all of this you will not listen to me, I will punish you for your sins 7 times over. Like, that's crazy. I don't want to pay that. He said, I will break down your stubborn pride and make the sky above you like iron and the ground beneath you like bronze. Your strength will be spent in vain because your soil will not yield its crops, nor will the trees of your land yield their fruits. If you remain hostile toward me, if you remain hostile towards God, and you want to decide to continue this witchcraft and continue all this sin that you're in, and refuse to listen to me, I will multiply your afflictions 7 times over. Look at this. Who wants to pay this type of cost? He will multiply your afflictions 7 times over as your sins deserve. What kind of stuff? No, you don't want that. That's not the life. You are not about that life. You don't understand. He said, I will send wild animals against you. You want to pay this cost? Do you want to pay this type of cost? He said he will send wild animals against you, and they will rob you of your children, destroy your cattle, and make you so few in number that your roads will be deserted. If in spite of these things, if you still ain't got the picture, you still ain't got it, you still don't have it, you still don't want to listen, you still want to be if in spite of these things you do not accept my correction but continue to be hostile toward me, which is God, I myself, listen to this. This is God speaking. He said, I myself, not the devil, not nobody else. He said, I myself, listen to this. I myself will be hostile toward you. Who wants God against them? Who? That's the Almighty. You really wanting to pay this type of cost? For what? Is it worth being disobedient? It's not. He himself will be hostile towards you and will afflict you for your sins 7 times over. And he said, I will bring the sword on you to avenge the breaking of the covenant. Oh my gosh. When you withdraw into your cities, I will send a plague among you, and you will be given into enemy hands. What kind of stuff? You really want to pay this cost? Who wants to pay this cost? He will give you into the enemy's hand? Like, do you understand how severe this is? You need to change, honey. I'm telling you, this is what got me smacked right. When I started reading this for myself, and God was dealing with Shanidra, I was like, oh, heck, now I got to change real quick because God is not playing. This is what he is saying. This is what he is saying. We are in Leviticus, the 26th chapter, verse 26. He said, when I cut off your supplies of bread, 10 women will be able to bake your bread in one oven, and they will dole out the bread by weight. You will eat, but you will not be satisfied. If in spite of this, if you still ain't got the picture, you still want to be disobedient. He said, if in spite of this, you still do not listen to me, but continue to be hostile toward me, then in my anger, now we done provoke God's anger. Who wants that life? You really want to pay that cost? Do you want to pay that cost? Dang, just Then in my anger, I will be hostile towards you, and I myself will punish you for your sins 7 times over. You will eat the flesh of your son. Oh, gosh. You will be crazy in your mind. You will eat the flesh of your sons and the flesh of your daughters. Oh, my gosh. I will destroy you. I'm sorry for my face because, I visualize stuff, so that also helps me out to get me smacked right real quick. I will destroy your high places, cut down your incense altars. I keep telling y'all need to quit doing them incense, quit saging, quit doing all this witchcraft stuff. Stop it. You need to stop it because God is you provoking his anger towards you. Are you willing to pay that type of cost? It's not worth it. You're not that strong, honey. Let go of your little pride. Get some act right real quick because he's not playing. This is not a game. This is not a game. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's real and it's really going to happen. You wonder why stuff is not happening in your life and why all hell breaking loose. God is letting you know it's me, honey. You still ain't got the picture. He said you're going to learn today. You will learn today. He said, he said he will cut down your incense altars and pile your dead bodies on the lifeless forms of your idols. Y'all don't get this. I don't understand. And he said, I will turn your cities into ruins and lay waste your sanctuaries, and I will take no delight in the pleasing aroma of your offerings. Period. I don't want that. You see, remember how Judas tried to give back the little money that he got from trying to kill. See, when you do that type of evil, he don't want that little stuff. There's no offer you can give at this point. You don't want God to get to that point where he is angry with you and he's dealing with you specifically. And you still don't want to get the picture because you want to be stuck in your own head and oh, well, honey, no, that's slavery. No, you enslaved. You still working. I'm working for God, sweetheart, and I've been free to do whatever I wanted to do in God. Period. I make my own schedule in God. I don't see no slavery in that. I'm able to just do what I want to do when I want to do it. If I want to just chill or relax, if God allows me to, I will do that. And he allowed me to sleep in a little bit later today and gave me a break. Look at God. But anyways, that's what he do. Remember, he said he'll give us peace when we obey. But anyways, this is not the cost that you want. I'm not about that life. Ain't nobody this tough. Period. I don't know what you're thinking in your mind, but you cannot go against the creator of you. That's crazy. That is crazy. But anyways, you don't want to get it. That's on you. He said, I myself will lay waste the land so that your enemies who live there will be appalled. I will scatter you among the nations and will draw out my sword and pursue you. Your land will be laid waste and your cities will be lie in ruins. Then the land will enjoy its Sabbath years all the time that it lies desolate. Now I told you don't want your stuff to be parched and desolate. And you are in the country of your enemies. Then the land will rest and enjoy its Sabbath all the time that it lies desolate. The land will have the rest it did. And the land will have the rest it did not have during the Sabbath you lived in it. Look, I don't understand. So, as for those of you who are left, I will make their hearts so fearful in the lands of their enemies that the sound of a windblown leaf will put them to flight. They will run as though fleeing from the sword, and they will fall even though no one is pursuing them. You done lost your mind. They will stumble over one another as though fleeing from the sword. Even though no one is pursuing them, you will not be able to stand before your enemies. You won't be able to stand before your enemies because you're going to allow your enemies. He said, you will perish among the nations. The land of your enemies will devour you. Those of you who are left will waste away in the lands of their enemies because of their sins. Sins. You want to be disobedient. You really want to pay this type of cost. God said, I'm going to let you know what it is and what it's going to be. This is what you need to see and you need to hear. You're going to waste away. He said, those of you who are left will waste away. Those of you who are left will waste away in the lands of their enemies because of their sins. Also, because of their ancestors' sins, they will waste away. So you want to follow your ancestors. You don't want to learn from them. You want to copy the exact same thing that they did wrong, that got us all up in these curses. We want to continue, oh, I'm following my ancestors. No, honey, I've done all my research. And there's more research that I can do. But I will learn from their mistakes, because I don't want to make the same mistakes, because we are in this predicament for a reason. So we need to learn from our ancestors and don't continue this same thing that got us in this cursed of land. But anyways, he said, but if they confess their sins and the sins of their ancestors, their unfaithfulness and their hostility toward me, if and only if you will confess your sins and the sins of your ancestors, and you realize that your ancestors were in sin, and their hostility towards God, which made him hostile toward you or towards them, so that he sent them into the land of their enemies, then when their uncircumcised hearts are humbled and they pay everything I said, remember everything has a cost, and they pay for their sins, I will remember my covenant with Jacob and my covenant with Isaac and my covenant with Abraham, and I will remember the land, for the land will be deserted by them and will enjoy its Sabbath while it lies desolate without them. They will pay for their sins because they rejected my laws and my decrees. Yet, in spite of this, when they are in the land of their enemies, where are we in now? But, you can't see that either. It's just over your head, I guess. But anyways, yet, in spite of this, when they are in the land of their enemies, I will not reject them so as to destroy them completely, breaking my covenant with them. I am the Lord their God. But for their sake, I will remember the covenant with their ancestors, whom I brought out of Egypt in the sight of the nations to be their God. I am the Lord. These are the decrees, the laws, and the regulations that the Lord established at Mount Sinai between himself and the Israelites through Moses. So he had us to read the whole Leviticus, the 26th chapter. I hope and pray that you learned something today and that you will start to obey all of God's covenant and his commands and his decrees, because it's not where you want to be. You don't want all these curses coming upon you, and you don't want, his face to be against you. You don't want none of this stuff. If you really and truly want to be blessed and not stressed, stop your mess. Stop the witchcraft. Stop the crystals. Stop the idols. Stop all of this extra nonsense that you know is not of him. Get out of your prideful mindset and get some act right. It's like I said, it's Yahweh, or you can hit the highway. Quit trying to do it your way. Your way is not working. That's why you're stressed and not blessed. You sitting here trying to look like you're making money, but you're not. You're too stressed. You don't even get to enjoy the house that you work hard for. You don't even get to enjoy it because you're working so hard. When God gives you anything that God himself gives you out of no sorrow, and you will be able to enjoy. I was able to enjoy the house that he had given me during the pandemic. That was the most I have ever paid for a dang on anything. And he provided, not only provided for the bills, but the meals. We did not lack at all. I was able to just sit back, relax, get my mind straight, get creative. Honey, it was just awesome. And I just spent so much time with him. Now, there was some healing time and everything else, but all I'm saying on today is that we must obey and actually pray to God, the Almighty God. There's no other God. You're not a God. None of that. Okay? So on today, he had me to read from his word. As I told you, before I was into his word, I was thinking, I hear from God. I don't need to read that. I'm not going to be enslaved and listen. That's back in the past. That's today. Did y'all not see? We are in the land of our enemies. Do we not see none of this stuff? Is it just so far over our heads because we just so stuck in our own minds that we can't see reality? Like, that's crazy. You can't see the reality. You want to continue, I'm listening, I'm contacting my ancestors, and I'm this and I'm that. Yeah, you need to be woke. I'm woke, honey. I can see everything beyond what you can see because I'm connected to the Almighty. So he shows me my enemies. See, you can't even see your enemies. He allow your enemies to attack you because you're disobedient. You think you can do everything on your own. You can't. So once you get that in your mind, just like we tell our kids, you can't do this. Yes, I can. And then what happens? They end up having to call us because they can't do it. Now, God, do it, but you can't do it by yourself. I was stressed out because I was saying that it was all on me. Oh, I got to do all of this. Don't nobody love my kids like me. Oh, it's all on me. God was like, okay, well, when you need the Almighty, then call on me. And I did because I was like, Lord, I can't take no more. And he got me some act right real quick. I used to say, oh, the enemy messing with me and all this and that. I said that. So I'm not judging nobody. But God was like, no, that's me. I'm whooping Moody. All day, every day. God, if you disobey, honey, he already, he's punishing you. If he told us that we have to spare the rod so we don't spoil the child, trust and believe he's doing the same thing. He is sparing that rod so we don't be spoiled. He don't want us to spoil and ruin. But if you want to continue, he said, if after all of this, after I done broke it down to you, you still want to dismiss my commands and my decrees, then this is what it's going to be. You want to pay that type of cost? Like, that don't make any sense. You just foolish people. I'm telling you, this makes absolutely no sense. This is what helped me God helped me get some act right. When I was like, I couldn't have excuses or whatever, and because he already gave us all the basic instructions before leaving Earth. Now, I had to start reading the Word because I didn't think I needed. I hear from God, so I don't need to apply that. And then when God told me, since I hear from him, he told me straight up, he gonna direct me through this Word because I was like, I don't understand it. Oh, whatever. Honey, God got me some act right real quick. He got me into this word and it changed my whole life. Like, because when you just pick out little itty bitty things, it's just like when somebody arguing with you and or trying to tell you something and you trying to create argument with them telling you facts. Oh no, because you said that I coughed at the stairs and I didn't cough at the stairs. I coughed at the door. It's like, anyways, do you get the whole point or are you just trying to cause confusion? So all God is saying, we have to read the whole thing, listen to the whole thing, be obedient to the whole thing as much as we can. The thing that we should learn from Cain and Abel's situation is when we give God our best, he will bless and show favor. But when we want to give him anything, oh, well, I stopped smoking, but you still fornicating and you still out here, drinking and everything else. It's either you in or you out. Just like we tell our kids, you either come in or stay outside. You're not going to keep walking in and out the door. Close the door. If you don't want to come in, close the door. That's period. He said there's no lukewarmness up in here. Period. He will spew you out. We don't even like lukewarm water. I don't. I like it just right. Room temperature or cold. Period. I don't like no lukewarmness. Where it's been sitting in the car or whatever. But anyways, As I'm saying, we must obey his commands, period. Who wants to pay this type of cost? Read Leviticus 26 chapter yourself. Who wants to pay? He said, if you obey, all these things will be added unto you. But if you disobey, he will have your enemies pursue you. He will let your enemies rule over you. Do we not see what's happening right now? Is that over your head? Did it just go somewhere? We cannot continue to allow to stay in our own minds and not want to change. Every day you have to change. Every day I'm learning something new. Every day I'm having to change something else about me. As much as I'm learning, it's like, dang, it's still more that I have to stop doing. It's more that I have to grow from, So it's an ongoing process. You don't just get it and then, oh, I ain't got to learn no more. That's even at a job. They changing stuff too. They change stuff up on you, and then you won't get mad at them. Why they change it up? I just got this, now they changing it because they're moving and changing, and that's how God He would change stuff up. I didn't have to go live when I first started. I was able to do my videos and get comfortable and never had to go live. But then once I got comfortable, He was like, on to the next. You're going to start going live. Now you're going to start adding videos to you. I'm like, I'm not a technical, but what we're not going to do is tell God what we're not going to do. I had to learn that real quick. When I learned that I was talking to God, see, I was thinking I was only talking to myself and what I wasn't going to do. But when I learned that I was talking to Him, I was like, oh, okay. Again, this helped me really be obedient. I wasn't listening to what anybody else said that was obedient. I was being obedient myself because I was learning myself what God expects from me. And it made it easy because we don't want to listen to everybody. You just saying that. No. I tell you on my show, I am celibate and going to continue to be celibate until I am married. Period. So if you don't believe me, I'm saying it lively on my show. I'm doing exactly what I'm telling y'all to do. And I have the same people or more that are after me. But they don't faze me because I'm in God, period. So I don't care if it's the finest, whatever. You can have self-control. He gives you that. He gives you a way out. So it's up to us if we want to take the way out. Oh, He gives us freedom to, yeah, and it comes with the cost. So you can go ahead and do it. Like we tell our kids, go ahead. I dare you to do it. Oh, you going to do that in front of me? And you think it's going to be easy? Okay. No, you're going to learn today what you're not going to do. We cannot continue to be a fool. This is foolish behavior. When you are a child, you acted as a child. That's okay. Boom. That's as an adult, it's time to grow up, sweetheart. Sweetheart, we have to take accountability for our own actions. We can't keep pointing the finger, because you're never going to grow. And if anybody care about you, then they will let you know for sure that this ain't the way to go. You need to get smacked right real quick. I don't know why everything happened to me. And you, look at you. Look at you. God only shows you you. Period. So that's all I have to let you guys know on the show on today when I say you need to pray and obey today, starting today. It is not hard. I mean, real quick. Before I even got rebaptized, I did the changes before. Before I repented, I made some changes before. I wanted to be in the habit of already doing right before I repented. Because when you repent and you telling God, I'm not going to do this no more, and then you decide to do it, honey, what you not going to do? You don't want to pay that cost, sweetheart. It's not, So, that's all I have to tell you and let you know. That it's just time to grow. Get out of your stinking thinking. Get out of your own mind and being blind, because you would never see who you're going to be if you can't be who you really are. You want to pretend and act like, and no, that's not what, that's not you. Stop doing that. Stop acting like that. You can't continue to do wrong and then point the finger at everybody else. You have to take accountability for yourself. This part of growing up. You can't expect your kids to take accountability. You ain't taking accountability. Oh, you don't never do anything wrong. God said, if any man say that they have never sinned, the truth does not lie in them. You're not even fooling God. Dang, you're not even fooling God. So you going insane trying to blame everybody else. You trying to put shame and defame somebody else's name when you doing it to yourself because they're looking at you. Look at you. Figure out why you big mad and not glad. We should be happy for one another. I am doing these workshops so that everybody can discover what we need in business. I don't want to be the only one on top. I want everybody to come as I go higher. I want all my people, all of them, not some of them, not part of them, not a little bit of them. So if I could just tell them certain things to help them gain and maintain, that's what I'm gonna do. If I'm gonna help them with their children. See, this Beyond the Cover Academy is not only going to teach them how to become entrepreneurs and have self-discipline and faith and all of this stuff, but it's going to help the parents out because the kids will learn all about how to save, how to pay, and all of this stuff, and how to obey. But they will also, whatever extracurricular activity, they will start learning how to make their own decision because they will be paying for their extracurricular activities. Oh, you want to play basketball? Then they already know to use their God-given gifts to pay for it. All I gotta do is sell some of this or make some of these crafts, and I can sell it and make the money every month. That's it. That's it. So this is legit. Beyond the Cover, where you discover Beyond the Cover Academy. So as you know, it's time to grow. We can show God that we are ready to be steady. Just be obedient. Like, I know it's easier said than done, but it's really not. I don't know who this is, but it's going to wait until I'm done doing what God has me to do for you. So, as you know, we went through his word. You know exactly what he said he was going to do. So if you want to pay that cost, it's on you. It has nothing to do with me because I've done my part, sweetheart. I didn't sugarcoat it. I read it word for word and then broke it down to you. That's not the cost you want to pay to not obey. He said, oh, if you still don't get it, then I'm going to, like, what? You want to deal with God? Like, That's on you. I pray that you receive the words that God had for you today. I pray that you will actually PRA for people and not PREY. I'm sorry, PRAY. I hope that you PRAY for people instead of PREY on people. Because when you PREY on people, you living in sin. And we know what God is going to do. So just know the cost that you're going to have to pay when you disobey and you decide to go that way. So just talk to God and tell him that you're ready to change. We can't change on our own. I told you I tried to change on my own. I couldn't. I'm going to change. And I would still pop off on somebody in 2 seconds. Like, what you not going to do. Let them know real quick. But now, I don't have to do that because I know if I shut up, it's over. If I continue to be obedient, it's over. It's over. So, for that person, And then if I, you know, let go and let God, so like he said, he got our enemies when we are obedient. But when we are disobedient, he'll let our enemies rule over us. So that's just what I have to say for you today. Remember that the Beyond the Cover Where You Discover will be August the 6th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. Regions Bank will be here as well. So you can excel.
Bump. Honey, see me. Behind my Game Boy, I got Game Girl, it comes easy.
Taking a chance.